Hey, what's up everybody? Good morning. Hope you're starting your day a little better off. Just wanted to briefly touch on one of the changes. There are so many changes that are trying to be introduced this patch. I'm really surprised that ZeniMax is actually going this route, especially because the last patch they spent the better part of the entire PTS window just trying to rework Incapacitating Strike to the point where Necromancer got zero attention and many of the abilities that are still broken and not working to this day. And I'm not even quite sure that the changes to Blast Bones alone are actually all that it needs. In my opinion, like I've said many times, Blast Bone needs to be non-targetable. There's no reason for Blast Bones to be targetable because it can still be rooted, it can still be stunned, it can still be destroyed. And Blast Bones is basically the bread and butter ability. It's the frags, it's the crystal frags, it's the spectral bow, it's the shulk, etc. It's basically the go-to ability for damage on the Necromancer class, and it just doesn't work. In any event, we're talking about a change to the Templar ability from the Dawn's Wrath skill line called Eclipse. It says rework this ability and its morph so that you now envelop your target in a sphere of darkness for 4 seconds, which harms them anytime they use a direct damage attack. This is really important to understand, is that a lot of people were saying, well, yeah, once you after the 3 seconds that you gain CC immunity and you basically can't be re-eclipsed. And the reality is that if you don't get CC'd, you can be re-eclipsed 100% of the time. You can be eclipsed for, if you just stand there. If you're like, all right, I'm not going to touch anybody, you can be re-eclipsed 100% of the time. The reason being is because of what it says right here. It says their third attack causes the sphere to smother them, stunning them for 3 seconds. And it's only after this portion of the ability that you then gain CC immunity, because up until this point you do not have CC immunity, which means this step 1 you don't have CC immunity, after the second attack you don't have CC immunity, and during both of these seconds, right, because this happens every second. As it says right here, the effect can only occur once every second. So this effect occurs at second 1, this effect occurs at second 2, and then this effect occurs at second 3. So if you attack at step 1, at second number 1, you're slowed. If you attack at second number 2, you're immobilized. And if you stop attacking and wait 2 more seconds, you can be re-eclipsed because because it doesn't give you CC immunity. Because the reason that it's obvious is because step 3 is where you get the immunity from, because up until that point you can be stunned, and then once you CC break or wait the 3 seconds, you then can have immunity after the fact, which means that during these 2 steps someone else can CC you, and then you would have CC immunity and be immune to this ability for the 7-second duration that CC immunity lasts. But if you actually were to stand there, because this is important to understand, it says that the ability envelops the target in a sphere of darkness for 4 seconds, which harms them anytime they use a direct damage attack. Is that direct damage attack only against the Templar, or is that against anybody? Does that mean that that sphere is on you, and if you hit anybody else, then the first step 1, step 2 will apply to you? What this basically means is that you have to go to step 3. And since each step increases in the amount of damage, you are guaranteed to take at least 3 ticks of increasing damage. Because if you don't get the CC immunity, the ability can just be reapplied to you, because it doesn't give you CC immunity even after the 4 seconds. The reason being is because it says right there that after the 3rd second, you're still able to be stunned if you attack. All right, so it's very obvious that this ability is broken. It needs to be reworked. The other thing that I wanted to touch on was the old core had a horrible effect on Magicka DK, because whenever you attack a Magicka DK who has their armor buff, volatile armor reflects back damage when they take damage. So if someone is hitting you, for example, with like crushing shock or jabs, volatile armor deals direct damage, right? Direct damage. So that means no matter what, even if you stop attacking as a Dragon Knight, you're still gonna go through step 1, 2, and 3 regardless. Even though you have to, you don't even have a choice. You don't even have the choice to attack somebody else, because you're still gonna go through steps 1, step 2, and step 3, no matter what. Because if you don't, you do not get CC immunity. The other thing is that it says right here, and this is very obvious, that it says it cannot be CC broken early. So it's a guaranteed 4 seconds because you can't CC break it. And even if you cleanse it, it can still be reapplied to you, because it only not reapplies to someone who has CC immunity. And since you can be CC'd while you have this ability on you, because all it is just a status effect. That's all this is. This is a status effect that if you attack somebody within the first 3 seconds, you're going to take damage 3 times, you're going to be slowed, you're going to be immobilized, and you're going to be stunned. It's guaranteed. Because if you don't, you just basically repeat the process until you do get the immunity. And this is why I say before that this is just a waste of development dollars to basically sit here, rework an ability, and have absolutely no idea what you're doing. Because this ability completely negates all of the rules that are set forth on crowd control abilities in the game. The reason I bring this up is because there are literally pages upon pages upon pages of changes that the developers are trying to put forth within the very narrow PTS window of what, 3 to 4 weeks, 5 weeks. They literally spent the entire previous PTS window of Elsewhere just reworking one ability, Incap, flip-flopping back and forth on how the ability was going to work. How are they going to make the necessary changes to fine-tune this patch with this amount of changes? It just makes absolutely no sense, especially because some of these changes are very bad. There are some good changes, yes, but then there are some very, very, very bad changes, like the change to Eclipse.